Drive the paper. Think about the guy who was driving it over. The panel fell off. They were doing construction. The panel's up on the side on the under part.
That goal is top of the line. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. The worst part about
That's so good.
We're watching the Super Bowl. We have said he was what did he do?
Yeah.
He didn't snap the ball. The guy had the ball. He was right there in the play.
That's right, yeah.
No fun. He did that to the Chargers.
Yeah. Some of that ball is the ball
Or on the skid row.
I don't know if you can do it at the level.
Oh boy. Did you get that?
It's great to be a part of the postseason and play such a superior team. You know, I don't take these moments for granted. Playing against some of the best basketball players that ever played the game. And, it should be extremely fun. Happy that, we have punched our clock to the second round.
You and Steph have been, the fiercest of competitors over the years, but you've also expressed deep admiration for him. What about Steph gives you that perspective about it?
Puts in the work. When you put in the work, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see results, and he's done that throughout his whole entire career. And I have nothing but the utmost respect, for Steph and everything he's been able to accomplish, not on the floor, but not only on the floor, but also off the floor too. So it's great to have people like that in this league that can set an example for the generation to come.
Ron, in what ways do you think you and Steph have brought out the best in each other given all those matchups?
Just two of the most competitive players that's ever played this game. And we want to, etch our name in the history books as much as we can, but playing, doing it our own way. So, like I said, I got nothing but the greatest aspiration and greatest respect for Steph.
Ron, Draymond picking the ball. Stop trying to push LeBron and Steph out the way so fast. Are you able to enjoy this? Or is it in the moment, you just have to be the moment and
No, I don't know if I enjoy it while I'm in it because I'm so locked in on the hand, on the task at hand. But I mean, I love the game. Obviously, that's enjoyable. But after the fact, we can look back and just look at all the memories that I had, playing the game. Going against this Warriors, this franchise, with those three Hall of Famers and Steph, Draymond, and Clay, and be able to enjoy those moments for sure. You won't be able to get them back when you're done, that's for sure.
LeBron, this season is, in so many ways has been a marathon, but you think back to that. This is where you guys opened the year, so Chase Center. How different is this team? How different is the feeling, the confidence level on the journey you guys have been on over the course of?
I mean, out of the 8 teams that's left, I think every team is better than they were opening night. And that includes us and the Warriors. We both feel like we're a better team. A playoff series, to be able to see what you're capable of helps that, and see ways you can, bounce back from a little adversity here, a little adversity there. But I mean, obviously we're a better team than we were, opening night. That goes without saying.
That's something during the 2022 you worked with him on blocking, like next play mentality, not to be done. How have you seen him mature in that sense?
Who?
AD.
Oh, AD. I think the best teacher of life is experience, and AD is just, he's his own, like you say, he's his toughest critic, and for me, being there just to be a support system, both on the floor, but more than that, off the floor as well. So, I've had a lot of experience in this game, and I feel like it's my responsibility to give it back, and AD is definitely someone that I don't mind. Not one bit give of anything that I have to this journey.
The physical challenges dealing with the Warriors are apparent. She goes on that all the run around the court and spread the floor. What's it like having gone through this in series multiple times with them, the mental challenges playing them?
You got to be super duper locked in. You can't make a mistake. You just can't. You can't make a mistake, they make you pay. It's literally that simple. Some teams I've played in my career that's had that notion on you, and they're one of them. They're right there at the top, along with some of those great San Antonio Spurs teams where if you make a mistake, they make you pay, and it's that simple. So we have to be locked in, because they're going to already do a great job of scoring anyways, even when you got a body on top of them. You've seen some of the shots that the routine shots Steph was making in Game 7 that everybody was going crazy at, but that's just Steph. That's you're that great to, you make tough shots like that. So we got to be locked in and not hurt ourselves.
LeBron, the matchups are so different for both you and the Warriors, like compared to Memphis and Sacramento. What have you seen over the course of your career as to when you get to the next round, optimizing what the different rotation is, what the different way to attack, all of those different basketball things?
Well, the series, you learn more and more as the series goes on. And I mean, you saw that with Golden State. I mean, them being down 2-0, they just learned. They started to get better and better as the series went on, and so did we. So did we with Memphis. So you just got to be in tune and seeing ways that you can, be great. See things that's not doing so well that you can try to, be better at. But it's going to be a game-to-game situation, a quarter-to-quarter situation on ways you can, do what's best for the team.
LeBron, how beneficial has the rest been the last couple of days? What have you been able to do recovering since the last series?
I guess just not pounding on the floor and bumping up against guys for 48 minutes or whatever the case may be. That definitely helps a little bit of recovery. Us not having to. I was extremely happy after we won. When I found out that Golden State forced the Game 7, that allows us to stay home for a couple more days, sleep on our own beds, things of that nature, that helps. So, but we back now. We back locked in, and the next round starts tomorrow. So, we're ready.
Draymond's been a vocal supporter of yours, and I know you guys have a relationship away from the court. When did that shift? Because obviously the intensity of those finals matches between you two was apparent to everyone watching.
Yeah, and it's still going to be that way. But I mean, at the end of the day, this game is, we play this game so long, and we have a great relationship that lies off the floor that people don't want to understand, and that's okay. Who cares? It doesn't stop us from going out and competing at a high level and wanting the other to not be successful when we go against each other. But when we're not playing each other, we support each other both on and off the floor, and our families are very close. And when it comes to that, we don't really care what nobody say about our relationship. I think it's pretty stupid, honest. But we're fierce competitors, and everyone knows that.
Thanks, Over.
For sure.
Thank you.
Oh, man. I don't know whether to be mad or thank you. Probably in the line of, more in the line of thank you.
So that's not
Trying to get right, man.
That's not stuff that's got you sweating.
Nah, hell no.
Darvin, what were your initial thoughts when Golden State won yesterday about the matchup?
I mean, we've been preparing behind the scenes. We were preparing for both scenarios, so I mean, my hat's off to them. They show why they're great and why they are who they are. Just that championship pedigree, that experience in big games, it totally shined through. Not with Steph's 50 only, but even Looney with his 20, I think it was 21 rebounds. Like, they came ready to play and they did what they had to do. So now, it should be a fun series.
Steph himself doesn't have the answer to this question. How do you stop Steph?
I mean, I don't know if you do stop him. You just have to try to make it as difficult as possible. Like, multiple efforts, being aware of where he is at all times on the floor. And again, once he gives the ball up, that's when the work really starts. He's great at all facets of offense, like with the ball in his hands, playing off the ball, pick and roll, DHOs, even his backdoor cuts, his drives to the rim. He can make any shot, every shot known to mankind. So you can't get discouraged. You just got to keep giving multiple efforts and keep competing.
And Darvin, they're obviously still in it, but given all the finals matchups that Steph has had over the years, where do you kind of put that rivalry in the context of all the great rivalries of previous eras?
I just think it's right up there, man. It's the best rivalry of this generation. Brian, when he was able to do like 1 to 9 straight finals, and obviously Steph and those guys, what they were able to do with those 4 championships, like, that's the rivalry of the generations, particularly those 2 players. But, it's going to be another fun battle.
Darvin, you mentioned Louis, and obviously he doesn't get the attention that the Steph or player or Draymond gets, but what do you think he does for their team in terms of fueling everything they're about?
Just the little things, man. He brings his hard hat and lunch pail to every game. The unheralded but highly valuable plays that he makes on the glass, both offensively and defensively. Always in the right position, high IQ. His antennas are always up, locating, whether it's Steph, Clay, Poole, it doesn't matter. Like, those little bounce passes between the legs, and then go set a screen, setting the screen rolling, catching it, being able to read and play out of a half roll. The kid is amazing, man. He really, underappreciated in my opinion in terms of his league-wide notoriety. But he's the type of guy, he likes it that way, I'm sure.
What's the key for AD to have a strong series going up against a guy that obviously brings all those?
Just let it all hang out, man. Your energy, your activity, and just being in attack mode, constant attack mode. Anthony is always at his best, and he's assertive and aggressive continuously. So.
Do you guys have everyone available today?
Yes, outside of Mo Bamba. Mo had to still with a little bit of an ankle issue that held him out a little bit at the end of the year. So outside of him, everybody is available and ready to go.
When you think back to your first NBA game as a head coach in San Francisco, there were fires to put out that night. There have been fires to put out since. Where do you think you've grown the most from day one to today?
Just if I could steal a phrase from Joel Embiid, just trust in the process. It's that's what it comes down to. And communicating and collaborating with my players. We have a coaching staff, and we put our brains together, try to come up with the best possible plan with what we have to coach. And along with Rob as well. Jeannie has been great, just 1,000% supportive, encouraging, even through those dark times early in the year. Just her positive attitude and her great energy. Little things like that help carry you through. And Rob, his attention to detail, constantly, just seeing the glass half full, and we were able to pull off a deal that, you know, now everything we're trying to do is coming to full circle, and all the pieces are fitting and matching. And so going through that process as a first-time head coach and seeing it secondhand through people I've worked for and people I've played for, like, it is what everyone tells me it is. Like, you just have to keep your nose to the grind. Don't get too high, don't get too low, and always look for the silver lining.
Do you know what Steph has meant to Bron's career? Have you seen already him just like locking into a different level or showing a different type of seriousness heading into today's practice, knowing obviously what you guys are up against?
I mean, I don't know if I see anything different. He's like that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, literally. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Just the seriousness. You know, again, those great players, like I mentioned before, with similar questions, like the Kobe's, the Giannis's, you know, all those guys, they're locked in no matter what. They're constantly trying to get better at something. But, you know, he's the LeBron we've seen all season, and I'm sure people that's been around him in the past have seen the same thing. I've seen it from afar, competing against him for several years, both as a player and a coach. But his locked-inness, if that's a word, Dan. There's going to be one now. His locked-inness, you know, never wavers. And so he's just the same. No, I like locked-inness stuff. That seems to be the catchphrase. Now everybody, we got to lock in. Everybody be locked in. So his locked-inness, once again, disregard Dan, my professor. It's never wavering.
5 shots, another game where he attempted 25 shots.
Yeah.
How important is his aggression and assertiveness, especially with going up against Looney and Draymond?
It's huge. And, you know, A is just he's not your average traditional big guy. Like, he can face up, he can play with his back to the basket, he can play out of pick and roll, DHOs, he can handle and have Small set the screen for him, and then what he does on the defensive side of the ball is second to none. When he's out there, again, aggressive and assertive on both sides of the ball. Switching out, contesting at the three-point line, getting back, blocking shots, coming up with tough rebounds in crowds. Like, he has to come out and set that tone for us early and often.
Coach, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
As you've seen the team progress since the trade deadline, have you seen a definitive number 3 guy emerge, or is it still by committee? How do you view what that?
Say that the middle part of that question again. How about seeing what now?
Like a definitive number 3 guy emerge in the group, or is it by committee? How do you look at what that kind of is?
Yeah, I think it's by committee. I mean, and that's a blessing actually. You know, one night it's D'Lo, the other night, you know, it's Austin, and another night it's Dennis, and you know what I mean, Bees. Like, that's a great problem to have. And you know, we obviously know our 2 captains, Bron and AD and Bron, they're gonna do what we need to do. You know, we fly as high as they allow us to, but the extra fuel that allows us to maintain a certain altitude are our rotation players and our other guys. So they've all been great. I wouldn't signal anyone out. They all have their moments combined sometimes, and sometimes, like you saw in the last game, D'Lo just goes crazy. And so they definitely, both he, Austin, Dennis in that group, you know, they all have the ability, Bees, to score 25 or more on a given night. So it's a great problem to have.
Coach, you talked a little bit about D'Lo. In that first half of that last game, his paint touches, got a lot of paint touches, got in the mid-range. Is that something that you've been talking to him a lot about, getting paint touches and how that puts pressure on the defense?
Absolutely. Just being decisive, man. D'Lo is a hell of a basketball player. And when you get him going in pick and roll, and his ability to freeze the defense or create indecision versus the defense, it's second to none. And so I just encourage him to be assertive, be aggressive. Don't defer, you know. Austin, I give the same message to Dennis. These guys, when they orchestrate what we're trying to do on the offensive end, and just in general, you know, I like when they're more assertive than not. Thank you.
Blowing up the group text about stuff.
I'm sure that'll come very soon. We didn't get it last night, but I'm sure it's coming soon.
Austin, how's it been for you, you know, in your situation, what you've had to, you know, overcome to get here, and now you're a starter on the Lakers, and then now you're playing against Steph Curry in the second round. Like, just talk about that from, like, what you would have thought, you know, coming from college and now seeing in the spot that you're at now.
I mean, it's a dream come true. You know, not very many people thought, you know, I would be at this position.
even be in the league, to be honest. But it's a lot of hours in the gym, a lot of nice thinking, what was going to happen next. But just to be here, obviously sharing the court with Brian, AD, everybody on the team, and then going to compete against a team of that caliber is special.
How has it been? Sorry, with Phil Handy. Last year, it kind of brings to my head. He told me that you're going to be really good, and y'all been working a lot together. How's it been with Phil? Learning from him too in this situation, because you've been in the same situation as Bron several times.
He's been, basically right there with Bron, the whole way, and just the different, outlook at the game for him, and then especially like the skill work and stuff. Me and Phil have spent a lot of time together this past year, so that's my guy. I appreciate everything he does for me, and whenever he speaks, also everybody listens.
Thanks, everybody.
Here, we just had individual work during the morning where you can do what you want. I watched it at the house, but I don't know if anybody else watched it together.
When you watch the game, when you see Steph going for 50, are you thinking, damn, I get this guy next?
Yeah, but no. Obviously, seeing that he's, arguably the best point guard to ever play for a reason. And his performance yesterday was unbelievable. But at the same time, we got a good core that's good defensively that we like, and we like our chances.
You say good luck, Vandal?
Hey, well, yeah, good luck everybody. We're there on the court with him. We guard with all 5 guys. So.
So what can you take